Okay, we are live. It's been kind of a shit day, I'm not gonna lie. Cluster is down, and I don't freaking know, something screwed with the ISP. So I've got a technician coming out on Sunday. I can't really do anything about it until then. There's just not going to be any experiments running for the next couple of days. I do have my one box right here that I can use for a few small things. All I wanted to do tonight was to start on a few of the experience buffer changes. That's all I wanted to do. Oops, let's not get that. Also to check on this run real quick. Okay. Well, I mean, that's interesting, right? We'll see how this curve goes, but the advantage filtering seems to break something here. We'll see how stable this ends up being, and whether this eventually intersects or not. Very odd, though. Okay. I want to just chill and code some stuff. Oh, what's Spencer up to? A bit for the next hour or so, and then all day tomorrow. Fiber. Oh, that's Linky, not Spencer. All right. Well, let's just get onto this then. I think where we left off, I was trying to figure out what was wrong with the multiprocessing. It works with one big block of M's. Doesn't work with two. Oh. Well, that's weird, isn't it? Hang on. Episode indices. Those should not overlap, right? Am I crazy, or should those not be overlapped like that? Oh, they're not overlapped. Yeah, they're not overlapped. So what the heck is wrong then? Why is this 6,000? Isn't it, 8192 rows? No, that is still right. I'm trying to think what can even possibly be wrong with this thing. Like, there's not much, right? Am I crazy for thinking that if it's like, it's gotta just be something in store? It's TMH. Oh, it's TMH. Yeah, no, that's correct. That's been that way for months. I didn't do something stupid for testing and then forget to undo it, did I? Yeah, this doesn't break anything. It's not something stupid with this indexing, right? Like, it can't be. Wait. No, this is fine. This is bizarre. I would have thought this would have fixed it. It's weird because, like, it almost does, and then it crashes, right? Yeah. can't even think of what this would be. That's the issue. Didn't miss a field. I mean, how did I screw this up? The thing is, this was working before, wasn't it? Pretty sure this was working. Could I have screwed something else up in the process of implementing this, like... Could have, right? Could it just be something completely unrelated to what I'm looking at now? Integers, num samples. Set your loss to 0, right? Got rid of LSTM here, didn't you? But you were setting it to none anyways. The 64 horizon do. It's gonna fit, right? 64. It's only half. Wait. Yeah, so you've got room for 2 sets of these buffers, right? Check a difference, I guess. I gotta check a diff. Because this doesn't make any sense. Wait. shoot, this is too big of a... I do have a bunch of commits that I could bisect, right? Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna just do a get bisect on this. I almost never have to do this, but lately... See, it's good here. not have to find this bug tomorrow. Then I can do real work tomorrow. Okay, so this one's still wrong right here. What the heck all that was. Oh, that's just fallback. We good here? We are, right? I think we're not quite as good, but we're still good, right? Oh no, this is still fine. And then this one here. Good on bet. Getting us some solid PRs in. So this is like, eh? It trains stably, but it's kind of bad. What do I call that? Do I just label that as bad? It's definitely worse. Okay, at least this one's easy. This one just runs. Did I like unindent something or something ridiculous like that? Nah, is this one still bad? I don't know. This one is. This one is good. Okay, so the first bad commit is here. Which is, let's say 8 DC. This shouldn't be a bad commit at all. So I must have really broke something. This is E3B. Oh, is it this? We'll keep this in mind. Change it from less to less than equal. I wasn't changing episode indices before. That's weird. And I broke it by changing this. So there are hey bet literally 2 changes that could have possibly broken anything. And everything's broken today. make sure that this is problem. State equals none. This one doesn't work, right? Doesn't fail as hard as the other ones, but it doesn't work. Oh yeah, this hard fails. Right? Not as bad as the latest branch, but it's still not good. Looks like it's working. It should be solved by now. Sure. So the only two things I did is I changed this from less to less than equal, and then I zeroed this. Geez, that much of a difference, huh? So that brings us back to the solve speed we expect. If that's going to solve, which it should. Okay. Overwriting the first batch or something? That still doesn't work. It solved it before, didn't it? Oh no, it didn't. These are the two things, though. Well, but we also know, That's crazy. Is a one character bug, really? Yeah, one character bug. Now it's back to soda. Right, now it doesn't work if I do this, right? Yeah, no, it's gonna crash. Okay. So now multi-proc should work as well. Oops. Make sure this does stuff. So if this works, if this works, then I will go relaunch a job, and I guess I can review Enduro stuff. The end works and trains, right, Bet? Zombies are linked. Very good. All right, let me go fix one small thing then. So it'll be 32, I believe. 2, 6, 2 over. Hello, what stream is this? PufferLib Dev. This is reinforcement learning dev. I stream all my work on this. We're going to make reinforcement learning very, very fast and sane and stable. I do this full time. So today was a lot of no fun attempting to fix cluster networking issues. Usually we do cooler stuff. Like launching this new experiment. I am unfortunately going to have to stop the last experiment for this, which was doing okay. Do I want to do this with or without advantage filtering? It's a good question. Maybe without as a baseline. I don't want this thing to fail overnight. Though to be fair, if this fails overnight, that's only like what, a 12-hour 11-hour experiment. And then I could run the next 24. Yeah, I think we should do that. We'd be a little greedy today. Did I not push my last thing? Hang on. Neural MMO conf. This didn't pull. Oh, I forgot to stash. Thank you for the advertising bet. So this did kind of okay. Where are we at? Min-conf prof 3.4. That's a pretty decent run. We will be able to rerun this now with the fixes. Fix filter. Cool. So this will do roughly. How fast are we running this? It's actually kind of fast now, right? 540. So that's like 1.5 bill an hour. So this will probably do like 17, 18 billion by the time I wake up. What do these curves look like? That ought to be enough to see if it's bad, right? I mean, it'll be a little close, but it's got to outperform this mess, though. All right. We'll take that. We will take that. Let's review your thing. That was a very silly bug. I don't often have to pull out bisect. Okay, so we've got cart pull first. Wait, specify atom optimizer, other optimizers untested. Going to dev. So one thing on this bet is with the new stuff, it seems like you're not going to need, I don't know if you tested with Muon, but we haven't needed like really specialized per env hyperparameters anymore, which is kind of cool. But I will look at that myself. Yeah, so this thing doesn't fly. Why are you doing global paths for the demos, man? I'm not going to make you fix small stuff like this before I merge it, but I would like you to fix them at some point. What node? Oh. Local compile eval not implemented. Well, you should be able to like play the game locally in C or whatever. That's a lot easier to do than implementing all the model stuff. Get that at some point. Locally, alright. I'll take that PR when it's ready. What do we have? Is this 240 lines? I guess to be fair, there is some light physics. Wait, this is the new... Is this new binding format or old binding format, Bet? Is this some Python? Not new. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So then you'll, that'll cut 50 lines off, right? Yeah, that'll cut like 50 plus lines off. Okay, so let's just see how your code's been going. Can I like... Where's the non-split view for this stupid thing? Isn't that like a toggle? Unified. It's all new code. Let's see how your code is going. You're over commenting a little bit. Don't know the source code. Well, they don't know the source code because you're not naming stuff well. I don't know why this is x dot. Do people use dot for vector? Oh man, that's been so long. I use arrow. I guess they do use x dot for arrow, but there's no reason to name it like the mathematical like it's just vx. Like theta is fine, and you can do like you either name this whatever the hell the character is for angular velocity, or you name it v theta, or you name it like something. Was it omega? And it's not omega. What's the w? Why do I think it's omega? It's not lowercase omega, right? It's like a w. It is omega. Yeah, lowercase omega. Picked on a run. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to go super crazy with name. It's just like you name the thing it is, and then the code should be pretty easy. It's not that comments are bad. It's just like, why do you need to comment the thing that the name is when it's like you have the name? Steps beyond done. You shouldn't be able to step it once it's done. You also don't need an empty client if the client has no state. Unless there's one. Oh, there is one down here. Yeah, but this doesn't have anything, see? So like you don't need to match this just for the sake of matching it. Like if there's no struct, then you just don't need one. And then you're not going to need this either once you get rid of log buffer, so this will get simplified. If this gets calc'd, you don't even like, this ends up 0 for you. Though it's kind of fine to have that still. There's some more tweaks I'm thinking about, like this free allocated, since this only gets called from the C. We might just move stuff like this into the C file. But yeah, there, this can just be void. It's kind of fine to have a close. Not part of the API, so you could just call close window. This is fine. Don't we use tab for taking control? No, we use shift for taking control. Yeah, we use shift for taking control. That's fine. The original ends goes beyond being considered solved. Well, then you don't do steps beyond done, right? You do like max steps or something, right? You set like max steps to as like a parameter, and then when you create this, you can create it with a specific number of max steps, and then you set done if the thing falls over, and then you set done if the thing runs out of time. Though technically, if you want to be really correct about it, you set truncated if you run out of time, which is something that we're going to start considering. Though I haven't actually added truncated to the new bindings, because most of our ends don't use it. Not using it, yeah. Yeah, so I think you're kind of in like the over-commenting stage of being a developer. Like, if I were going to comment this, which you don't really need it because it says cart X, cart Y. I can tell you're drawing the cart, and I can tell you're drawing the pole. This I might comment as track, since there's nothing that says track here. Comments aren't for Joseph's. Well, should be for code literate people. I mean, it really does when you've like been programming for a while, right? It literally does be like, well, why did you just write what's written right here, right? Because you read the code and it's like, yeah, that's what it says. Wait, well, yeah, this is ones. Well, they're just all sorts of little things that you can do. Why I chose non-standard default vals. Do you think that I know what the defaults are of cart pull off the top of my head? I can assure you I don't. I could tell you that if you wanted to be fancy, you could easily make this a difficulty parameter, though. This could be difficulty right here. That'd be kind of cool. Randomized domain randomized cart pull. It's probably too easy though. Well, yeah, I know it's so that it doesn't start balanced. I don't know what the defaults are in the actual cart pull end though. I don't know how much it randomizes. 0.05. So is this harder or easier than the default? Is this like easier? What do you mean it's the same? This is 0.04 shifted, right? Well, make sure our cart pull isn't like easier than the actual cart pull, because we'll get shit for that. Like, our breakout is probably easier, but our breakout's easier because the original is stupid. Okay. You're gonna link me the original, which is shit, right? Paste it again. The chat broke. Is the chat still fucking broken? Yeah, my chat doesn't work. Like, the window that I have on Restream is broken. That's bizarro. I mean, I can just go. No, I see it where you see it, but my terminal doesn't work. Oh, this one isn't terrible. Wait. Yeah, they have some shitty graphics library, right? What is this? GFX. Where the hell is this even from? Do they, like, import it? Oh, Pygame. Yeah. I'm surprised this is the original. We're absolutely allowed to and are going to recolor it, by the way. PufferMs match puffer colors when possible. You can't do literally no branding. Okay, so this here, I actually don't know if this is faster. But you know the shortcut for this, right? Env log equals, you can just do open curly brace 0, close curly brace. That is 0 struct. This is probably faster, but it doesn't matter at all here. I actually don't know. They might compile to the same thing. Does it just get a reward of 1 every time it... It's kind of a shitty reward function. It's okay, though. And then we have this. This isn't bad. Don't do this. This is silly. This is fine. Something like this is fine. This is all going to be gone because of the new binding. So basically, I'll remove like a third of the code with the new binding stuff, which will be nice. Yeah, it's fine to do that in this case. Good job. You have VOD for this, so the suggestions I made, I would suggest you do, if for no other reason other than to remind yourself. It's also fine to delay that until until you go to do new bindings, but probably good to like, yeah, don't do silly stuff like this. I can't really blame you because you were probably like, you weren't really sure what the API boundary is. Like, is it part of the API that everything has to have a client and like a make client and stuff? And the answer is not really. The only things that I think are required are that you need to have a render, a step function, and a close function. I get scared when stuff starts segfaulting. So stuff shouldn't be segfaulting when you're deving in pure C, because you have fsanitize, right? And then even when you run the Python test, like the pure Python test, with the new bindings, you'll still have fsanitize potentially. The only time that fsanitize is going to like break horribly is when you run through PyTorch and stuff. Okay. Thank you for this. We will merge this to dev. I've wanted to have cartpool for a while. Thank you. And props to you finding time. You now will have a very busy schedule, I imagine. Congratulations once again. Sting. So you put all these parameters back in, huh? We could solve Enduro with literally the defaults for everything. I tested that before. Why'd you took the RNN out as well? For a while, I finally got them ready. Just chill. Wow. Yeah. And you've got a wife. So, for the few days, I imagine that'll be help appreciated. Yeah, exactly. Just had major surgery, yeah. RNN isn't there, it says none. driving and carrying shit. There was one contributor back in like one of the first people to join with Pokemon, I believe. It wasn't you, it was some other guy. Wait, this wasn't you, right? No. There was another guy who literally just had a kid and then was like, on the Discord or whatever, the same day, like hacking on stuff. And then his wife came in with the baby. And I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Congratulations. Get off of here and be with your family. What are you doing? What are you doing hacking on Pokemon with us? You can do that like tomorrow, next week or something. Lost to RL. That's true. Puffer. I'll have to use some stickers. Okay, so this is the C-bind port. So you've got this init. We also have to just remove some of these stupid arguments, right? Like, there's no reason. The game is a fixed game. You don't need to tell it the width and the height, and the car width and the car height, and all that shit. Because it's part of the game. It's like, there's no real way that you're going to ever randomize over some of this. I guess technically max enemies or something. You could randomize max enemies, but the rest of these, nah. When you got continuous. Yeah, but the thing is, like, literally, this is the crazy thing, right? If I make one mistake in reviewing, I end up having to deal with a dozen mistakes. So the one mistake I made in reviewing, it might have even been my own mistake with Snake. It probably was passing like a couple too many arguments from Python to Cython to C, and then it got into Pong and Breakout, and now everybody thinks that you just have to pass everything from Python all the way to C, even when it can just be in the C, because it's never going to change. It's a constant. So, it's got to be righted at some point. This looks like an error. This doesn't get used, right? Wait. You don't call an it, dude. Where's an it? Does this get used on reset or something? Like, we're not going to call the init function for you if you don't call your init function here. It does get used. Let me double check this before we break everything. Init does not need calling from there. Is it good called in reset or something weird? Because we do not call it for you at all. Yes? Okay, fine. Probably should just get called here, but whatever. Yeah, assign to dict, a bunch of stuff. Return length score. Did you make a reasonable score function? Got rid of this garbage. 150 lines of it. Uh-oh. Wait. So this was from the old logging, right? Before I let you do this. But you still have this struct here. Uh-oh. Wait, no, log is still here. You could have made a temp log for this, to be fair. If you had a ton of variables that need to be tracked like this that don't already have trackers, I would have just made like a temporary log. But that's fine. The enum is what I meant. You don't need the enum, right? Yep, and then this is gone. It's gone. Yeah, the enum's unused. The enum is from an old version of the logging. So this is kind of silly, right? Like, you just make a temp log here. Like, look, if log is the reserved one that we use, like, that we can check whenever, you just make like a, you know, like a temporary log or whatever. You fill that thing, and then when that thing is done, then you copy the results over instead of having to do this. That's how you would do it. I think this is also going to be truncations. Name's going to be different once we finish it. But it's not getting used yet. Yeah, this is mega silly because now you have this twice. Right? Now you have this, like, this zeroing out of this twice. Yeah, see, this could have all just been like temp log.pass by enemy or whatever. Would have been much easier on yourself. Close client. Render. And presumably you moved the, yeah, you added this. Okay, that's the other thing I was looking for. All right. I mean, the one thing with the log was just like, you know, judgment could be a little better there, but everything else is reasonable. And what do we have? Yeah, silly. Lots of code being deleted. Very good. Get shorter. And then what? Oh, you had to screw with the end binding file. That is not something that you're supposed to have to do. For the RNG. Why did you have to screw with this for the RNG? And why are you reference counting? Needs a different seed. We give you a way to do that already, though. I'm guessing, yeah. So this is not understanding API because, oh, you added it to the reset function? There's no reason that you can't just have this in the, there's no reason you can't have this in the init function, right? Eval needs to not use seeding. Why? And just pass it a random ass seed, right? And first reset it should not use seeding. Is there something specific you're trying to do here? Because, like, this is one process, right? Unique structure. Yeah, but, like, why? So this is one process. So if I give this seed like 1 or whatever, this whole thing, I just set seed 1 at the start of this, then like you're going to consume some RNG for the first env, right? So if you just set the seed once initially, you'll use that seed for the first env, and then you'll go to the second env, and it'll be new data, new RNG data, because the seed still hasn't been touched and you've already consumed the previous RNG. The only way you screw it up is if you set the seed, is if you like set the seed in reset and you set it all to the same seed. So we give you a way to pass unique parameters to each environment instance on init. I don't know if you didn't see it. If you saw neural MMO though, I did this for neural MMO. So this is neural MMO 3. So check this out, right? Unique parameters per env. All these are unique parameters per env. I declare them in a loop like this. I append the IDs, and then I call vectorize. And if you just call vectorize on it, then it makes the vec env, and you can call vec reset and vec step on it, which is pretty cool. So I'm a bit sketched on this because, and also even if you were gonna add quarks, I don't think you added it right. Why'd you add quarks like this? Let me see. No. Seed each unique. There's no such thing as a non-seeded state. All right. Okay. So why can't you just... Yeah. Oh, I see what you did. Okay. After it completes the day, when it completes the first day, it resets to the start of the beginning, right? Yeah. Yeah, you don't even need to seed that, man. Literally not setting the seed would work for that. You just call rand. I mean, you should probably should set the seed of the first env. There's a thing I'm adding that'll help with that. But I don't think that this is the right way to do it either here. Yeah, this is not simple. You're not meant to have to deal with shit like this yet. This was like annoying for me to deal with. Like, do you understand what any of this stuff is for? This reference counting? Look something up. That's funny as hell. And +1 for each seed. That is not what these do at all. What? Yeah, that's not what these do at all, man. Okay, this is for C as does not do memory management for you. Okay, this is for reference counting. This tells like Python's garbage collector when you no longer need stuff, so you can get rid of it. Yeah, this is these are not here in any way that they should be here. Prevent the seg faults. Mem leaks. Yeah, so that's fair. I have not memory profiled my binding stuff yet. This is more that the Python API is really, really freaking stupid, though. God, that is so stupid. Wait, why do you have pylong? Add seed to quarks. Oh, you force passed a seed from this.